Dan Illman, Mike Beer, Saturday's co-feature at the Great Race Place, race number 9. It's the Grade 2 San Luis Rey Stakes on the turf. Our stakes preview presented by DRF Bets. Sign up for a DRF Bets account, be rewarded with a $150 sign-up bonus. All you have to do is go to drf.com/join and type in the promo code TV150. Let's take a look at this field. They are going 1.5 miles at Santa Anita, carded as race number 9. The two protagonists in this race are the 2 It's in the Post, the 9 Hayabusa 1. They were noses apart in the Grade 2 San Marcos on February the 3rd. It's in the Post, closing in on $1 million in career earnings, made the first move into what I thought was a fast pace. It was a really game performance from a rock-solid horse.
Yeah, really, really nice performance. I loved the ride that Hayabusa 1 got in that race, where they sort of took him back and let him get covered up, and then came with the run down the outside. I mean, he just missed in that race, but I think you're right about it as far as the trips go. It's in the Post, probably took a little bit the worst of it, and it's just one of those situations here where you start going through his running lines one after another. I mean, he's just, it was very close last time. He is way the horse to be in here.
But that was a coming out party for Hayabusa 1. This is only going to be his 10th lifetime start. Can you make the case that he is getting better and that perhaps we have already seen the peak performance from It's in the Post, and a forward move from Hayabusa 1 puts him past It's in the Post? Victor Espinoza had to be beating himself up when he dropped the whip in the lane last time.
It's a fair enough argument to make. The thing with It's in the Post is just that I don't think it's, he's one of those horses who's going to start heading down the hill now. I mean, he just keeps running the same race over and over again. He's in really good form right now. Maybe the difference is just what you're referring to, though, with Hayabusa 1. He just feels like he's really improved, especially these first 2 starts off that long layoff. I mean, I felt like he really took a step forward in the first start back. I loved the way he finished in that race to get up, and then he took another step forward last time. I don't know how he missed that photo, but somehow he missed that photo. That was a really nice performance.
Let's see where they'll be in regards of the pace. Timeform US has a pace projector for every race in North America, and we see the number 2, It's in the Post. He's very tactical. He's sitting there in 5th position, and we see the 9 Hayabusa 1 only slightly behind. The pace should be fair. They really shouldn't be compromised by tactics. Out in front is the number 3. That's Play Hard to Get, who broke a long losing streak last time out, and a great ride from Rajiv, who just was able to get this horse to the lead, back down the pace, and save just enough for the wire, but now he's got to stretch out even more against better horses.
Right. I mean, that's a real question for this horse, and I almost felt like Rajiv gave him a really good ride 3 starts back, too, when Hayabusa 1 just came running at the end and got to him. Right now, anyway, it's probably the best he can do, and now he's got to go 1.5 miles. I think it's going to be really hard for this horse.
I know you and I have always had a thing for Aquaphobia, the number 6, who's right up close in this Timeform US pace projector. I think we were both surprised that Arnaud Delacour dropped this horse in for 25 in September. He won that day. He was claimed by a really good horseman, and all he did is send this horse out in his next 2 starts and run big. I know that Super Bowl handicap's kind of like a starter stakes race, but he looked good doing it, and the horse that he beat came back and ran just fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that performance. It's funny when you go back and watch it. And I do feel like this horse ran well in his last 2 starts. He got such a great trip in the Super Bowl. I mean, that worked out perfectly for him, and I felt like he needed every inch of that perfect trip to get up, and now he's got to go the 1.5 miles. I'm not that worried about the 1.5 miles. I think he'll get this far. It's just a question of whether you think he's good enough to beat these horses.
The number 1 Rye is another horse stepping up in class after receiving a very advantageous pace scenario. They were going great guns in that Cal Cup Turf Classic. Rye was near the back of the pack, and as the favorite, he was all out to get up late. He's always been a nice, hard-hitting Cal-bred, but again, up in class, and perhaps most importantly, up in distance.
Yeah, he's got to get to 1.5 miles here, and he's just one of those deep closers where even if you feel like, he's in really good form and his last race was really good, setup or not, he's probably going to be last up the backstretch here, and he's going to have to pass some really good horses in the stretch.
Frank Conversation makes his first start since early October when he was 3rd in the John Henry Turf Championship behind It's in the Post, and I thought he got a nice situation that day. There wasn't a lot of pace. Mario Gutierrez had him right up close, and he just wasn't good enough that day against some nice horses. Now he's got to catch It's in the Post off of a long layoff from a tough post. Tough to go 1.5 miles off the bench. This is an underrated horse, but I agree. It's a tough spot.
I agree. There's a lot working against him in here, but he's also a big price on the morning line, and he's got races I feel like that would put him there. It's interesting. I think you're right about his John Henry last time too, because the pace situation really worked out for him. He got a good trip in that race. On the other hand, I've always preferred this horse from off the pace. Like I just wish that they would take him back and let him try and be a closer again like he was early in his career. They sort of concentrated on making him more of a pace player last year, and I don't think he's as good that way. Not that he's going to beat these horses anyway. I don't think even with a change of tactics, but I'd like to see them take him back.
Colin has showed some quality by only being beaten 3 lengths by West Coast in the Los Al Derby on dirt last summer, but the feeling was always that he was going to be a turf horse, and our colleague Matt Bernier really believes that this horse is just going to appreciate more and more distance. This might be exactly what he wants, and he overcame a lack of pace last time out to win a non-winners of 2 other than. The horse that finished last that day came back to earn an 89 Beyer speed figure. Maybe Collinist finally gets what he wants, and that's long distance on the turf.
Yeah, right. And he does sort of give off that impression when you watch him run that maybe he just wants to go all day. Obviously, he's going to have to prove it, and he's going to have to do it against some really good horses. So it all comes down to, I guess it all comes down to price, first of all, because I wouldn't take too short a price on him. And then whether you feel like he just classes up with these horses, he obviously has the upside, and he does look like a horse who wants to go long.
Taking on the boys is the number 7, Responsible for Love, who finished 3rd in the Grade 1 Rodeo Drive, went in traffic for most of the stretch that day. Then in the red carpet handicap, I had her 4 wide on the back stretch, and she finished 2nd in yet another good performance. Last time out in the Frankel, she got wired by Midnight Crossing. She was up close to that slow pace and just didn't finish, however. Maybe this freshening is going to do her some good. Neil Drysdale's having a nice meet.
Yeah, he is having a really nice meet. And the other thing that you have to like about her, whether you feel like this is a tough spot for her or not, and I think it is a tough spot for her, I think the distance is fine for her. I think she wants to go this far, and so that helps her. It feels like a tough spot for her.
A couple horses coming out of a optional claiming race. We'll talk about Oscar Dominguez, who's a 1-run closer. He was 3rd for 40, claimed 2 starts back. Just couldn't take complete advantage of that fast pace last time. He's up against it.
Yeah, just a 1-run closer in a race where the horses in front of him are better than he is.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the San Luis Rey. I'm interested in your thoughts on my pick, Saltini. I've told myself time and time again, I don't want to play Bernardini's on the grass, but this horse has shown that he can do it. And he's also a half the champ Pegasus, who was a good long-winded turf horse a few years ago. What did you think of that last race? There was a runoff who ran off to a big early lead. Saltini, though, was the one that had to grind into him from about the 3/8 pole. He wore them down. These are obviously tougher horses. He's bred for the distance. I think he has some upside potential. Best of all, the price is right. But am I just way out of it?
No. Well, yeah. Are you way out of it? No. But he really has to improve. I mean, he's facing some really good horses here. And so the question is, can he stretch out another 1/4 of a mile here and improve to a better race? Because he does have to improve. I'm with you on his last race. I thought that he actually ran really well to go after that runoff pace setter in there. I still think he's going to have to run better than that to beat this field, though.
But you're going to go with Hayabusa 1, second choice on the morning line. Not the chug. I mean, the 2 is going to be the. I think it'll be a significant favorite. But you're going to go 9, 2, 10, and 8. I'll take a little shot with Saltini, double-digit odds. 4, 9, 2, and 10 for me in the Grade 2 San Luis Rey. If you're playing from home again, nice card at Santa Anita on Saturday. $150 bonus is yours when you sign up for a new DRF Bets account at drf.com/join. Please type in the promo code TV150. Approximate post time for the San Luis Rey, 4 o'clock Pacific on Saturday. Best of luck.